Hello, listeners. My name is Leo Y, and I am here today to talk to you about a couple subjects. Actually, I'm trying to introduce a whole series of subjects that we can talk about. I wanted to make this clear that some of the subjects that I talk about are very touchy, and in my opinion, it's a necessity to talk about these things because it's happening in our today's world. Uh, and it's affecting people in different ways, and not there's ways that are not so positive. These forces or whatever you want to call them that are affecting us. Today's subject, I really want to talk about current happenings, things like the mindset of humanity, changing the mindset to a positive one, and even loving yourself, because to me that's the most important one. A lot of people lack in that area. They don't love themselves as they should. And this is wrong. This is a mindset that you should never enter. So bear with me, and if this is a subject that you like, please listen on. The thing that should mostly be focused on is yourself. Now, I'm not trying to sound like a person of greed. I'm not trying to come from that way at all. So please do not misread my interpretation. What I'm trying to talk about is working on yourself, as in not letting the world affect you in such a way that it's dismantling you. This fear, this anger, this sadness, this depression, you can beat this off. There is no miracle drug that's going to fix this. This is something that is within you. And in today's society, media, the way they think, the thought process is what's really crumbling you in such a way that it's hurting your family, it's hurting your friends. But why? The question that I want to set to you is why? Why is this happening? Why should it? Why should you let it hurt you? They throw war. They throw kill, die, scary, terrifying, horrific, sadistic, etc. These words, they are being used against people in such a way where I can finally say that this is a sort of manipulation in a way. And it's not just the media, it's people as well. And we need to really take advantage of this opportunity to make a change. What kind of change? A change in your mentality. A change in your mindset, essentially. Because this focus is directly on you. Don't let fear describe you. Don't be fearful. Because it's only going to hurt you in the future. And what I'm trying to tell you is, if you take, what are the derivatives of fear? Chaos. Chaos leads to fear. Depression. This also leads to fear. Sadness can also lead to fear. Happiness can also lead to fear. What needs to happen is a renovation of the mind. What I mean in renovation is clear your mind. You need to stop judging so quick on the draw. You need to stop reacting in such a way that it hurts you and creates fear. Fear is the key factor. I keep saying this word, fear. Some of you may be saying, what is he talking about? Fear. I want you to test something. Be an observer once. For once, if you haven't done this, for once, be an observer. Sit down and observe what's happening in front of you. If there is a situation that's on hand, sit down. Be an observer. Observe the emotions. Observe the way the person moves, the way the person projects himself, and don't judge. Don't go back and say, oh, what a stupid guy. even if it is a stupid mistake. Be aware of what he's doing. Be aware of how you're reacting. Think. If you're going to have to react, count. Count. And as you go back to how you were in that time, at that place, you'll see how you reacted. And you might be impressed by how you held yourself. This may seem silly to some, but if you really do test this method, you might have a good outcome. In today's world, humanity in general seems that they've gone a path of some kind of awakening, They're making realizations that something is not right. There's a difference. There's becoming of a change. People are more thankful. They're more friendly. They're more active in helping. And this is a great thing, I like what I'm seeing. And I'm sure that many of you are happy in what you're seeing. But again, there are still faults. There are still problematic situations that are occurring on this earth, And some of these outcomes are harsh. Like in Africa, I've been hearing that people are drinking polluted waters. Why? What's wrong with giving them waters that are rich in quality? Why do you have to dumb down the quality of water in order to save a few cents? Is this humane? I don't believe it's humane. It's inhuman in such a way. But again, reaction creates reaction. So reacting upon something negatively will always react again with negativity. It's in my opinion, it's a universal law. This is how it works. So you always need to keep a state of mind that is positive. A state of mind that keeps you sane, keeps you clean, keeps you active. You want to remove all kinds of blockages that you have, that you believe you have. You can counter this. This is all possible to counter. As many as it seems to some people that this is out of their hand. It's not out of your hand. You have to remember that thought creates. Thought essentially creates. It does. You can test this. Has there ever been a time where you sat down and you thought about someone and all of a sudden they called you? Lo and behold. Wow, is that coincidence? No, not really. It's not coincidence. This is a fact. I want to let you know that changing your mindset to a positive one can lead to many, many options, many variables in life. Things that can create a sort of a completeness. You have to come where I'm coming from. A completeness. A knowingness. This knowingness is missing. It's been missing in action for a very long time. But this knowingness is starting to come back in very subtly, but in an alarming rate, which is something that is opening our hearts to some a purity, in a sense, a purity that is very refreshing. To me, it is very, very refreshing. Loving yourself. Loving yourself. Love is the key to many things. Many, many things. Love can open and expand your mind to a new world, a world that you were originally blind to. My words that I speak to you are they're not in depth, because I want you to sit down and I want you to think a bit. Think about the words that I'm speaking about. I may be young, but this is something that every young, old, medium, whatever you want to call it, person needs to experience. It's something that no one should die without experiencing. To love yourself is very big. You need to get rid of the pollutants that you feed your body. Take care of your body. It is something that is very fragile and yet so strong, but you need to observe what you're using against it. Drinking water from the tap. It contains fluoride. Fluoride is essentially not good for your health. Eating right. Eating greens. Eating less meat. By all means, going vegetarian. These can help you progress in a journey that is open to anyone, for anyone to experience. Whoever is willing to experience. For someone that is willing to open their hearts towards this subject. It's very touchy to some people, but I want you to watch this video in your personal time. It's something that all matter of life should feel within the human beings, of course. But have you ever got the feeling that you're not just human being? That you are something else other than a human being? Other than just being something that is wake up, eat, sleep, drink, wake up, eat, drink, sleep, and the other way around. There's people that I see that are waking up in the middle of the night, from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7, and then they go to bed, or from 1 till 2 till 3, and this is what's happening. Why am I in such a insomniac state? This is a message. This is something that is talking to you. It's your body. It's giving you a message, a signal. Research. For those who are using drugs, alcohol, tobacco, you have to understand that this is just methods of masking. What you're really doing is hurting yourselves. Some of you may say, oh, I am happy. I'm excited. I'm always enjoying life and living it to its fullest. But if you really think about this tobacco, this alcohol, these are all voids. They're almost an emptiness in a way. You are representing yourself through a chemical in order to mask pains that exist within your body, your mind, your state of mind. You can't let these things run you or rule you. You have to find other means. And what I'm saying is, I'm not trying to get rid of your habits. I'm not trying to get rid of your beliefs, but I'm trying to teach you how to cleanse, how to think out of the box instead of going along with what everyone did through peer pressure or something that you've picked up alone. These are just masking methods. Realistically, if you really do love yourself, you would not be consuming, these chemicals. You have to think about that. You have to sit down, and I want you to think. Why do I use this? Or why do I have this habit? Why? Think about it deeply. Some people say they're just used to it. It's an addiction. Addiction from what? What did this addiction prop up from? Where was it placed? When did it begin? Why? Why did it begin? This is the question that you should ask yourself. I thank you for listening, and I will come up with more subjects in following videos. Thank you.